The new customer ad strategy we use to help fashion and clothing brands scale to 100K, 300K, 500K, and even over a million per month online, while always being profitable on the first order and without using UGC ads, founder videos, discounting, and spamming retargeting. I'm Brandon, one of the founders of Digiceptual. We specialize in scaling fashion and clothing brands with ads, and we've been doing this for at least 6 years. Over 23 fashion brand founders have made video testimonials and have done video interviews with us about the ad results we get them and how much their online sales have scaled with our strategy. You can see some of them over here. And if you want to see all of it, you can check it out in the link in the video description or in the link in bio, depending where you're watching this. Some fashion and clothing brands that we help scale are Alex of Bohemia, Rachel Comey, JMP The Label, Nonchalant Label, Pro Studios, Misha and Puff, Deepak Gurnani, Descendant of Thieves, Destructive, Rusha, Peladra, Hell Babes, New York Dress, and many more. Anyone can promise you the sun, moon, and stars and everything in between, especially with AI now, but they can't prove they deliver on those promises. We've been delivering on our promises for over 6 years, and it's not just me saying we do, the brands we deliver say we do. So if you're looking for a proven new customer ad strategy that can scale your ads efficiently and help you scale your online D2C sales, then this is for you. Here are some of the recent ad results we got for the brands with this strategy. So for example here, from April 4th to May 3rd, 2026, we spent 93.9K, 2.9 ROAS at a 272K return. This one, April 11th to May 10th, we spent 42.3 at a 5.34 at a 226K rounded up return. This one, same time frame, we spent 21.2K, 3.98 ROAS at an 84.5K return. And here's another one. We spent 73K, 2.98 ROAS, and a 217K return. And by the way, if that's already enough for you to be like, okay, I want to work with them, then just book a call with us in the video description on YouTube or the link in bio. If not yet, and you want to learn more first, then keep reading. First, or keep watching in this case. First, I'll briefly cover our strategy on the high level and then go into how we execute it, like the 3-layer campaign structure we use to scale efficiently, not just dumping 10 plus ads into an ad set and letting Meta do its thing because Andromeda. That is just being lazy and careless, by the way. The creatives that get new audiences to buy, even if your price points are around $200, $400, and even $1,000. And a hint, it's not UGC or founder videos. And the highest converting landing pages that convert new customers. Hint, it's not the product page. Now, let's cover the funnel. From the title of this document, I hinted that this ad strategy is all about getting new customers. In marketing terms, it's a top-of-funnel TOF ad strategy, so we focus on this. One of the most common reasons a brand's ads and online sales plateau is that whoever is running their ads spends too much on retargeting, RT, existing audiences and customers, and not enough on acquiring new customers at TOF. Right, so little spend at TOF, most spend is on retargeting. This usually happens because the new customer campaign ROAS, return on ad spend, is unprofitable and they need to compensate with retargeting in order to get the overall ROAS up, which ultimately means they don't know how to get new customers profitably in the first place. And if you couple that with remarketing the brand is already doing with channels like email, SMS, etc., then it's just inefficient use of spend. The main reason why the brands we scale ads for grow so quickly is because we spend on average 96% of ad spend on new customer campaigns and an average of 4% on retargeting campaigns. With brands where we spend like $80,000 to $100,000 per month or more, that percentage can be more like 90% new and 10% retargeting because of the volume. All right, we don't 100% spend on TOF only because a certain percentage of existing customers who don't buy from email buy from ads. So we want to cover our bases there with a small percentage of the spend. There's always someone who doesn't know the brand yet, so there's always a new customer to get. Now, first order profitability. When I say getting new customers profitably, I mean being profitable on the first order, not based on repeat purchases or certain lifetime value LTV metrics, right? This is because not all new customers become repeat customers. No brand has a 100% return customer rate every month, and fashion and clothing isn't solving a problem for the customer. It's not like a vitamin supplement that they have to replenish, aka repeat buy, every month. A percentage of new customers we get them do become new repeat customers, but we don't bank on that for ads. So it's extremely important to be profitable on the first order. Now, what does being profitable mean exactly? Well, here's how we calculate it. We first take their average order value, AOV, and then we factor in all their online variable costs like blended cost of goods sold, COGS, per however many units per order. Usually it's 1. Payment processor fees, merchant account fees if applicable, shipping fees, pick and pack fees, if applicable, VAT and taxes, if applicable. Then we also factor in the ad spend and also our fee, since we're not a charity. These are all the online variable costs involved with a sale from ads. So now to be profitable on the first order, the ROAS from our ads have to cover all their online variable costs, ad spend, our fee, and also have extra profit left over. The fancy word for this extra profit, quote unquote, is contribution margin. If you have someone running your ads and they say things like, it's profitable because ad sales minus ad spend and there's money afterwards, then they clearly don't understand profitability. If they exclude numbers like their fee when calculating contribution margin and tell you that everything's all good, then it's a false calculation and you could actually be losing money all this time and not even know it. By knowing exactly what is the minimum ROAS we need to be profitable on the first order, we now know how much room there is to scale while still being profitable by using scaling economics, which is the next section. So when it comes to scaling at TOF at a certain level of spend, the ROAS can go down. This is the scaling economics. Here's a visual example. So the vertical column is ROAS, return on ad spend, and the horizontal column is ad spend. So as you can see, the more we spend, the ROAS can taper down, right? It can gradually decline. The reason why this happens is because we're reaching newer and newer audiences the more and more we spend. Therefore, the cost to acquire a new customer will inevitably go up, which is what makes the ROAS goes down. This is why understanding the minimum ROAS to be profitable is key, because it tells us and the brand how far we can go down to scale, right? So imagine the minimum ROAS here is 2.2. Anything above that is profitable. Anything below that is unprofitable. So this is the no-go zone, right? Anything above here is fine. All right. So if a brand wants to aggressively scale and go low on ROAS, we'll do that. If they don't want to be as aggressive, we can also do that. Here's a client example of this in action. From January 12th to February 12th, 2026, we spent like 46.4K. ROAS is 3.52. Total return is 164K rounded up. Here's the ad account, right? Then the next 30 days, February 11th to March 12th, we spent 72.9K. The ROAS is 3.04. The total return is 222,000 rounded up. Then next 30 days, March 13th to April 11th, 2026, we spent 77.7K, 3.17 ROAS, 246K return. And then the last 30 days from me writing this, April 12th to May 11th, we spent 96.5K, ROAS is 2.78, and the total return is 268,000, right? So you can see that the more we spend, the ROAS can trend down, right? Even though this month from here, 3.04 to 3.17, it did go back up, even though it has a higher spend. But overall, if you look at from the beginning here to this one, it's trending down. Oh no, this one, sorry, it's trending down. Now, the bare minimum ROAS for this brand to be profitable on the first order is 2.2. And the brand is okay with the ROAS going lower as long as it doesn't reach around 2.3 to a 2.2. This means it doesn't matter if we spend 120K in the next 30 days and the ROAS is 2.6, for example, and then we spend 170K and the ROAS is 2.54, and then we spend 200K and the ROAS is 2.4, because we know the more we spend, the more new customers we get, the more sales we make, and the more contribution margin we make. It's a positive flywheel, as long as we don't reach around the 2.3 to a 2.2, right? And with all that contribution margin we make per month from ads, they use it to help cover OPEX, operation expenses, which is typically what brands use it for. That is the power of using first order profitability with scaling economics. Bestsellers focus. When it comes to getting new customers from ads, we focus a lot on using bestseller creatives and selling bestsellers because they already have proven demand. So we leverage that demand to get more new customers in. It doesn't matter if the bestsellers are a couple months old or even years old, because to a new customer, it's new. And there's always a new customer out there. From a stock and efficiency perspective, the brand can just keep a majority of stock and bestsellers at all times because they know it will move and not collect dust. On average, the brands we help scale have around 80% of their stock in bestsellers. They don't need to bother with launching new products or new collections frequently just to get more sales. Not to mention it's resource intensive and risky with every launch. Instead, they could just reinvest into more bestseller stock to keep fueling growth while reducing their risk of dead inventory. A classic example of this is one of Chanel's bestsellers, the No. 5 perfume. right? First released in 1921 and has been advertised every year even to this year, 2026. That's 105 years of advertising the exact same bestseller. So here's some example ads, right? Like 1937, that's the first ad. 1957, 1970, 1987 ad, here's a 2005 ad, 2015, 2017, 2020, 2025. You would think people would be tired of seeing this product and would eventually stop buying this product. But if that was the case, they wouldn't have continued advertising this product for over 100 years. I bet they have data that this is one of the best sellers new customers buy first as their entry into the Chanel brand. Now, execution. Now that you understand our strategy on a high level, here's how we execute it. Campaigns. The three campaign structure that scales efficiently. Having the wrong campaign structure is one of the most common reasons I see why fashion brands struggle to scale. This usually comes from blindly listening to meta reps who will just outsource customer service people that never ran ads before, and their goal is just to get you to spend more. And it comes from blindly copying popular trends and what everyone else is doing because they said it's best practices, quote unquote. For example, the advantage shopping ASC craze. Everyone was preaching ASC was the next big thing because Meta is smart enough to run everything. They know your customer, they know everything, etc. So many brands only run ASC campaigns, or almost all their campaigns are ASC campaigns, but then at a certain point, their results plateau or plummet. And some realize that their ASC campaigns were actually retargeting more than it should be, so the ROAS is inflated. Turns out just blindly letting Meta do everything for you doesn't work. I even made a video on this. It's on our YouTube and Instagram feed about why relying just on ASC campaigns was dangerous, addressing this exact problem. All right, you can check it out later. Another example, the recent Andromeda update. Now everyone is saying things like, you need to test 10x volume of new creatives, or just dump all your ads into an ad set in a campaign budget, CBO, and let it automatically choose. Or you need 20 to 40 ads minimum per campaign. And lo and behold, many brands aren't able to scale, their ROAS is unprofitable, too much ad spend is on retargeting, and MER is too high. Same pattern as the ASC craze. But it's not the brand's fault because chances are they aren't experts in the field. So instead of following the latest best practices and listening to what everyone else says, here's how we structure the campaigns differently to scale efficiently regardless of whatever changes happen in the algorithm. So layer 1, ad set budget ABO testing campaign. Ad set budget is we control the ad spend per ad set and the audience. We simply have one ongoing ABO testing campaign just for testing. We don't use CBO or ASC for testing because we want to control the process to see what specifically works and why, so we can use those insights for creative direction. Using CBO and ASC to test is just like throwing shit on the wall and seeing what sticks, or hoping something works since it's all automatic, right? On average, we are testing 9 new ads per week. Each ad set has roughly 2 to 3 ads on average, max 4, so the spend is concentrated. We don't just dump everything into an ad set to test, right? So here's like a visual layout. ABO campaign, ad sets, each ad set roughly 2 to 3 ads. The purpose of testing is to get as many different winning ads that can scale with our existing winners. If a brand has never ran ads before or hasn't in a while, our goal is just to find the first winners. So we're not trying to beat our existing winners with testing. We're trying to reach all new audience segments in the market because different people buy from different types of ads. Here's a visual example, right? Let's say in the Meta ad buyers, 20% of people buy from product image only, right? The other 20% buy from product on a model. The other 20% lifestyle video. The other 20% editorials. The other 20% gifts. Right? So let's say we have winning product only ads. We're not testing variations of product only ads to try and get a higher ROAS than our current winning product only ads. We're testing product on model ads, lifestyle video ads, editorial ads, gift ads, carousel ads, etc. to find winners for those to scale. This is especially key when ad spend is at 100K to 300K per month. If your ad spend is not at this level yet, if you want to watch this part, go ahead, but you can just skip a little bit ahead. If your ad spend is around these levels or more, and your ads are plateaued no matter how much you diversify your campaigns or how many ad variations you test, you have maxed out a specific segment of your market with 1 or maybe 2 kinds of ads. Let's say flat lays, for example. So no matter how many flat lay variations you test, it's still just a flat lay ad in Meta's eyes, so they only serve to the segment of the market that buys from flat lays. A key part of how we helped brands at this spend level break the plateau and scale further is with this testing system to find different types of winning ads. As a result, we're forcing Meta into different segments of the market that they have yet to scale in instead of just being stuck in the same ones. That's how we're able to scale the ad spend further while still being for first order profitable and at an efficient MRR for the brand, right? The budget we use for testing isn't that much because most of the budget is used for scaling, which is what we're ultimately here to do, not just burn ad spend for the sake of testing. Layer 2, scaling campaigns. Most of the budget goes to this layer and also layer 3, which I will cover after this. For scaling, we mainly use two campaigns, a master CBO and a CBO DPA, dynamic product ads, right? CBO equals campaign budget, Meta has control of the spend, right? Whereas like ad set budget, we control the spend, right? So CBOs are fine for scaling campaigns because we already have the winners from our ABO testing campaigns. So we can let Meta have more control over the campaigns while still making sure the audience settings are correct. All scaling campaigns exclude all existing customers' lifetime, not just past 180 days, to force the algorithm to go after new customers. For the master CBO, each ad set has 2 to 3 winners max so the ad spend can concentrate, same as ABO. Every time we have new winners, we just make a new ad set and put 2 to 3 new winners there. For the CBO, that's DPA focus, this specific scaling campaign is just for 2 winning ads, a DPA ad and a carousel ad, right? That's it, one ad set, DPA and a carousel ad. One of the ways we like to use DPA is to scale bestseller collections. We keep DPA separated from the master CBO so we can concentrate the spend on just them. They are one of the best types of ads in fashion that scales long term, right? Just a little redundancy here. Now, layer 3 is CBO bid caps. The core structure is layer 1 and layer 2. Layer 3 is the cherry on top. So the bid cap is the cherry on top. The type of layer 3 campaigns can change depending on meta changes, market changes, and new ways to scale from our experiments. Right now, CBO bid caps are our layer 3 campaigns. In simple terms, bid cap is telling Meta the total budget for the day for that campaign and don't ever pay more than X amount for a new customer. We typically use one bid cap campaign on top of the scaling campaigns. One ad set and around 6 ads max of our core winners. Here's the only exception where we don't do 2 to 3 ads max per ad set since it's a bid cap campaign. The goal of layer 3 is just to push more volume on top of scaling campaigns. So as you can see, our 3 campaign structure is very efficient and simple. Test in ABO, scale with our CBOs, and push more volume with CBO bid caps. Each one flows directly to the next. So at scale, we typically have 4 campaigns, not 10 plus campaigns scattered everywhere that don't systematically work with each other. Here's an example from a brand we scale. Maybe I need to zoom in a bit more. All right, so you can see here, there's literally 4 campaigns. The CBO BC is the bid cap campaign recently introduced to this account given the low spend. Right, because in like this last 30 days, it spent 1.6K, 3.045 ROAS, 5K return. The campaign after is a CBO DPA campaign. Some words blurred because it's internal, right? So here's the CBO DPA campaign. Sandbox Creative is the ABO testing campaign, right? Now, one exception for this account is that many ad sets are actually scaling and only a few are testing, as you can see from the result, the amount spent and purchase conversion here, right? It works well for this brand, so we just kept it going. And CBO Scale is the master CBO scaling campaign right here. Here's the master CBO scaling campaign, the last one. Right? So just 4 campaigns, and we're scaling efficiently, we're scaling profitably on new customers and pushing volume. Right? Now, creatives that get new audiences to buy, even if your price was around $200, $400, and even $1,000. I hinted earlier in the document that it's not UGC or founder ads. Most of the fashion brands we scale are in the premium to luxury price points, and we don't use these 2 types of ads at all for various reasons that I'll share, starting with UGC ads. 1, it's not for aesthetic brands. Fashion is about aesthetics, it's not about solving problems. We don't need paid creators and influencers with a sales script talking about top 5 reasons why this dress is awesome or why you need this dress, yada yada. 2, it repels high-priced buyers. The kind of customer that spends around $100, $200, $400, and even $1,000 on fashion and clothing are not attracted by UGC ads. The ads are too pushy, too fake, and are overdone at this point. And naturally, the third reason is they don't scale profitably because of the first 2 reasons. right? As for founder ads, which seems to be the next latest trend being circled around lately, if a brand relies on its founder to advertise and scale ads, it's a sign that the products are weak because they can't sell by themselves. It's also unsustainable, especially if you're the designer of the brand. Your talent is designing, not memorizing scripts and shooting ads every week. It sounds exhausting. On top of that, it actually increases your risk long term because if one day you decide to stop making ads, your ad results will plummet and your sales will plummet. Now, discounts. To touch on discounts real quick, we don't advertise discounts at all to get new customers because they only attract discount customers. The longer a brand uses discounts to get new customers, the more discount customers will occupy their customer list. In the long term, the brand will be forced to run bigger and bigger discounts just to get these people to buy again, which means they make less and less profit, eventually to the point where the brand is unsustainable. From our experience with new brands, as in a new client who had an agency using discounts in their ads, our ads with no discounts performed even better than the old discount ads. It's funny how people think advertising discounts to new audiences is an enticing value proposition when in reality it's not. It's just making your brand look cheap and attracts cheap people. So instead of doing what everyone else does, the creatives we use that actually get new audiences to buy no matter the price point are what we call raw creatives. Raw creatives clearly show the product and have clean aesthetics. Here are some more examples from the brands we scale. Here's a product focus example. Here's a lifestyle example. Here's a product on a model example. All right. This is because in fashion, the split decision a new person makes when they see an ad is deciding if they want your product or not. It doesn't matter what fabrics it's made out of. It doesn't matter what the story is behind the product and the brand. And it doesn't matter who the founder is. All that matters is if they want it or not. If they do, they will click and buy. If they don't, they won't. It's as simple as that. It's why DPA ads perform really well at TOF because it's literally just showing multiple product-only images in one ad. It's also why we focus on using bestsellers in our ads because we already know this is what they want. So once they see the bestsellers, that split decision is automatically made for them and they will click and buy. With this in mind, it then comes down to finding out what types of raw creatives convert new customers, and this happens in our ABO testing campaign. So if you want to find out which product-only images or videos can scale, we'll test variations of that. If you want to find out what editorials can scale, we'll test variations of that. Same with lifestyle, same with products on a model, and same with every different type of creative idea. Now, captions, to touch on this real quick, usually it's just one sentence or two sentences that describes the brand. We just combine what we know works in whatever specific market the brand's in with their brand guidelines, and we'll have the captions. Here's a client example. It literally says, where swimwear meets statement dressing, discover new spring arrivals. Right? Simple and to the point. Captions don't make a big difference in scaling. So once we have a winning one, we put it on almost all the ads so it's a constant variable. This way our focus is on what makes the biggest difference, the creatives and the strategy. Now, landing pages. The highest converting landing pages that convert new customers. In the beginning, I said it's not the product page, which may sound counterintuitive to some because it may make sense to send someone directly to the product page once they click an ad. But from doing this for 6 years and on track record, it's one of the worst converting pages ever for new audiences. Here's why. In fashion, the psychology at work here is that new audiences want choice. They want to shop around, click around, and take their time to buy something because they want to feel like they chose to buy something they want. They don't want to be immediately taken to the product page because it feels like you are forcing them to buy something right now, which means it feels like you're making that choice for them, not themselves. So how they react is they will click out of the product page and you either hope they will shop around and buy something or they will just leave and not buy. This is especially important in the premium or luxury segment because in the premium and luxury segment, these customers have plenty of disposable income to spend $200, $500, and $1,000 on products, right? Which means they have plenty of choice. So the last thing they want to feel is that choice being taken away from them. It's very similar to physical stores. Many people don't want to talk to sales reps because they know they're there to sell them something. They want to walk around, browse around, try things on, and then decide what to buy on their own. Only a tiny percentage of people actually walk in and immediately know what they want. These are usually repeat customers. Right? So for online, the two highest converting pages to send new audiences to are either the homepage or a bestsellers collection page. Here's a client example. It literally goes straight to the homepage. Right? By setting them to the homepage, they have plenty of choice to click around, shop around, and then decide to buy something. Same with the bestsellers collection page. On that page, they can just scroll, click around, check out the products, and then choose to buy something. Both pages give them the feeling that they're in control of their own buying decisions. Now, if you watched up to this point, thank you for your attention. What I've just shared with you is exactly the new customer ad strategy we use to help fashion and clothing brands scale to 100K, 300K, 500K, and even over $1 million per month online. All while being profitable in the first order and without using UGC ads, founder videos, discounting, and spam and retargeting. It's why over 23 fashion and clothing brand founders like you made video testimonials for us and why brands are still with us for years. The funnel is 96% of ad spend on TOF and 4% on retargeting on average. Max is 90% TOF and 10% retargeting, where we're spending around 100K per month or more. First order profitability is key, not based on LTV. Profitability means ROAS covers all your online variable costs, ad spend, and if you're paying someone to do it, their fee as well, and there's profit afterwards. This way, you know the minimum ROAS you need to be above to scale. So anything above that, you can scale because the more you spend, the more sales you make, the more new customers you get, and the more contribution margin you make. Ads should be bestsellers focused because they already have proven demand. It makes scaling efficient and it reduces dead inventory risk. For the campaign structure, ABO is for ongoing testing, a master CBO and CBO DPA for scaling, and a CBO bid cap to push more volume as the cherry on top. Creatives are raw creatives because fashion is all about aesthetics, and new audiences make a split decision if they want your product or not, so keep it direct and simple. And the best landing pages to convert new audiences into new customers are the homepage and bestsellers page because it gives them the choice to shop around and buy what they want. If applied correctly, you too will see results very quickly. But to apply correctly takes time, money, and energy because mistakes can happen along the way, and you as a founder are busy juggling many things already. So if you'd rather just have us come in and get the results for you, which will save you a lot of time, money, and energy avoiding mistakes, then please read this overview or watch this overview of how we work, expectations, and the next steps if it aligns with you. The time it takes for you to see improved results from us coming in is within 10 days or after the 10th day, so fairly quick. Newsflash, it doesn't take 2 to 3 months to see improved results. Anyone who says that means they don't know what they're doing. Our fee is performance-based since we're here to scale, so no lazy flat fees. The more you make, the more we make. I like to share the fee up front here, but given the increasing demand we have over time because of our track record and results, it can increase. Also, we're not some big corporation, we're a lean and mean team. You are in direct communication with Erwin and I, the founders, and we're the ones running your ads. You aren't passed around like a hot potato to random juniors and account managers who don't know what they're doing and are just playing telephone with communication. So that means our capacity is limited to maintain quality, which is also why our fee can increase. There is also no locked or long-term contracts, so you aren't tied to anything. And we have a profit guarantee, which means the ads have to be profitable after all your online variable costs, ad spend, and our fee at the end of every 30 days, or the fee is waived, meaning no charge. So we basically guarantee profitable scale or nothing. There's no catch to this. It's all clearly written in an agreement we both sign. It's easy to spend a bunch of money to scale sales, but if it's not profitable, then it's just a waste of money at the end of the day. This way, we are truly aligned to scale your ads profitably because all the costs involved, including our fee, is always covered. So the more we scale ads, the more sales you make, the more new customers you get, and most importantly, the more extra profit, contribution margin you are making. Most people like to make sure their ass is covered even if they aren't delivering results, like locking you into a contract and making you pay even though things aren't working. We don't need to do that. That's how confident we are in what we do. We have to perform every single month because we're ultimately here to deliver results. If that aligns with you and you want to work with us, then you can book a call with the video description below this video or the button below, right? Or WhatsApp us here, like +1 917 981 0899. Given our capacity is limited and more brands wanting to work with us because of our track record, we may have to put you on a wait list by the time you talk to us. So if scaling is a priority for you right now and you want to work with us, make sure you book your call now. The purpose is simply seeing if we're a fit. If it is, I'll tailor our strategy to your specific situation to show how we'll scale the ads more profitably and efficiently. Then I'll cover the rest of the details of how we work, the current fee, etc. And if it's all good with you, we can get things rolling. If it's not a fit, I'll tell you why transparently because we're performance-based. So we have to 100% make sure we can get you the results you want. Right? So if you want to do more research first before booking, you can check out case studies and more videos about our strategy on the Instagram feed if you're watching this right from there, or on our YouTube channel at the Gceptual, and you can see all of it there. Thank you for your attention, and if you booked a call with us, I look forward to it.